President Trump is calling for solutions to Turkey's questionable actions in Syria and within NATO. It comes amid a visit to the White House by his Turkish counterpart. One America's Kristian Rouz has more.
I project that we will work something out with Turkey. I think it'll work out fine.
President Trump meets with his Turkish counterpart Tayyip Erdogan amid elevated risks to the relations between two NATO allies. During a joint press conference Wednesday, the two leaders addressed their respective commitments to NATO, as well as Turkey's ongoing military operation in Syria and future fate of captured ISIS fighters and refugees. President Trump says recent concerns over a possible Kurdish genocide by Turkey were greatly exaggerated.
The ceasefire is holding very well. We've been speaking to the Kurds and they seem to be very satisfied. As you know, we've pulled back our troops quite a while ago because I think it's time for us not to be worried about other people's borders. I want to worry about our borders.
The two leaders focused on the most pressing issue in bilateral relations, which is Turkey's controversial purchase of Russian air defense missiles S-400s. Military officials warn the US and NATO will have to suspend Turkey's participation in the F-35 fighter jet program because the Russian system could learn to recognize America's newest warplanes. Although this may hurt US-Turkish security cooperation, President Trump says there may be ways around this problem.
Well, that's what we're here for. We're talking about it with our great senators. I think they have a lot of alternatives. Well, we're going to have a big meeting on NATO very soon.
Both Presidents Trump and Erdogan are disappointed with the latest remarks by French President Emmanuel Macron, saying NATO is brain dead. Macron believes the alliance failed to coordinate its response to the Turkish offensive in Syria, which some argue could embolden some of NATO's strategic opponents. But President Trump believes internal disagreements within NATO can be resolved by taking into account the security interests of each member state. However, the president's efforts to mend America's ties with one of its longtime allies appears to face an opposition by congressional Democrats and some Republicans.
President Trump's reckless actions do not carry the support of the American people. It is critical that we condemn Turkey's incursion as well, and do so in a bipartisan way.
Some lawmakers went as far as offering to remove Turkey from NATO. But military experts say such a move would encourage Ankara to establish even closer ties with Moscow and potentially Beijing, which may reduce America's influence in the Middle East going forward. In this light, President Trump appears to stand firmly in defense of US national interest by keeping NATO together.
Turkey is watching the ISIS fighters. When I became president, ISIS was all over the place. I will say the Kurds are watching over them, and Turkey is also watching over them. And Turkey recently has captured over 100 ISIS fighters.
Meanwhile, Turkey is in the middle of a deep economic recession and is seeking a trade deal with the US, which gives President Trump a chance to change Ankara's behavior. It remains to be seen if Turkey shows good faith and moves towards compromise solutions to ease tensions in Syria and within NATO. Kristian Rouz, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.